Hi, I'm Kyle Jepson.
I'm Lauren Meza, and we have your breaking news for today.
A Clarksville, Tennessee man has been arrested for trafficking a juvenile for the purpose of sex, according to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
Special agents in the TBI's Human Trafficking Unit, assisted by Drug Investigation Division agents and the Clarksonville Police Department, arrested 34-year-old Michael Scott Helton Thursday night.
Agents began investigating Helton after receiving information from the National Human Trafficking Hotline last week.
During their investigation, authorities developed information that Helton, an unregistered sex offender, trafficked a 17-year-old female for the purpose of providing a commercial sex act at a motel in Clarksville.
Helton was arrested and booked into the Montgomery County, Tennessee jail on one count of human trafficking for a commercial sex act.
The Tennessee Department of Children's Services and the Child Advocacy Center are assisting the TBI in caring for the recovered 17-year-old.
While on the subject of human trafficking, we'll turn our attention to specialist on human trafficking, Dr. Mo.
Thank you, Kyle Lauren. The U.S. government has numerous policies regarding human trafficking and punishing the perpetrators of these acts. The cornerstone act for them is the Trafficking Victims Protection Act of 2000, which deals with punishing the perpetrators, prevention of the crimes, protection for the victims, and rehabilitation for the survivors. There are severe penalties for anyone who deals with human trafficking. This policy established the Office to Monitor and the Combat Trafficking in Persons Act. They publish a Trafficking in Persons TIP report once per year, which describes and ranks countries' ability to combat this issue. They also established the Interagency Task Force to monitor and combat trafficking. Victims in the U.S. can get a T visa, which helps them get temporary U.S. citizenship, and after 3 years they can get permanent citizenship. This act was updated in 2003, 2005, 2008, and 2013 to help with both suing perpetrators, protection from deportation, housing for minors, screening children to find more victims, enhanced persecution, preventing child marriage, and enabling quick responses to trafficking. Various other older or newer policies exist, such as the Tariff Act of 1930, the Customs and Facilitations and Trade Enforcement Act 2009, the Racketeering Influenced Corruption or Corrupt Organizations Act, the Mann Act, the Protection Act, and the National Defense Authorization Act of 2013. These acts all deal with outlawing all trafficking and exploitation involving trade of sex or slavery or involuntary service, and extreme punishment for anyone who perpetrates these acts. Thank you.
Whenever.
Okay, what is human trafficking? Human trafficking can be separated into two categories. The first being commercial sex trafficking, which is when commercial sex is forced upon a person against their will. The second is going to be forced labor, which is when labor or other services is forced upon a person against their will in the form of modern slavery. Okay. Now let's see what citizens have to say about the issue when interviewed.
So here we have Kimmy. So first of all, I just want to ask you, do you know what human trafficking is?
Human trafficking isn't that where they take like children or people, they kidnap children, they like sell them across seas or to people for various things, either like for either sex work or for like as servants.
Right. And are you aware how it affects the U.S. today and why it's an issue?
I'm not sure what exactly how the U.S. they're sent here. And I know that there's a lot of groups trying to fix that and like protect them, because a lot of times they're in bad conditions and are on like U.S. soil in like the craters.
Right. Do you ever feel like you could be a victim of human trafficking?
I feel pretty safe in the U.S. I don't think, I mean, anyone could be a victim. I could be kidnapped at any time, and that could be a problem, but right now I don't really feel like that is an immediate danger.
Okay. And finally, do you think there should be like more probable causes to help fight human trafficking?
There definitely should be more people working on protecting them, as you know, it's their right. They shouldn't be hurt, and it can happen to anyone, as we were saying before. But even though it's not necessarily in the U.S. or is considered they're Americans, they're still coming through our channels, and it's still pretty dangerous, and you wouldn't want to think of anyone having to go through that.
Great, thank you. Just going to ask you a couple questions about human trafficking.
All right, no problem.
Yeah. So first of all, do you know what human trafficking is?
It's like we're like illegal like labor working and like just like selling of like children and stuff like that, like for people to work for them, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Like that caliber.
So
Yeah.
are you aware about how it affects the U.S. and how it's a problem?
I know that it's a problem, but I don't know like too much like detail as to like about it. Yeah.
Do you ever fear that you might be, you could probably be affected by human trafficking?
Yeah, sometimes I think about that.
You think,
Yeah.
like, there's people out there that could probably go and do stuff like that could affect you?
Yeah, like if like one of my relatives, get kidnapped, and that happened to them, I'll be really worried about that.
Okay. Finally, do you think the U.S. needs to do more to address these issues of human trafficking?
Definitely. Yeah.
You think that people know enough about it to be aware of it, and
I think a lot of people are like me, like they know the concept behind it, they know like people doing it and stuff like that, but it's just more like, I don't think like they know like everything about it.
okay.
I think there should be more like, people should be more aware of it as to like I guess like more things about it than like just like a broad like general view upon it.